Hello, one factory. In today's video, I'm going to have a look at the weather next 8 to 10 days. In today's video, this takes us to around the 26th of March. So we're going up towards the end of March now, actually. We're getting on into the year, aren't we? Certainly over a quarter of the way through once we get to the end of March. It looks like we're going to be seeing winds reverting more towards westerlies as we go through to the end of the month. It may turn more unsettled as well as these westerly winds start to push in. I think you're going to have a lot of dry weather this week, but next week we could see weather turning increasingly unsettled from the Atlantic, and not overly warm either. It could be rather chilly, in fact, with these west to northwesterly winds coming back. Now, before we get on with that, just to say about the competition, we got our winner yesterday, and the winner was Michael Hughes from Boreham in Essex. Michael is getting a fantastic anemometer wind meter worth £32.50. It's on its way to Michael today, and thanks to everybody that entered. It was a fantastic response. Had over 50 entries, so it was a little bit more response than we had last year. In fact, thanks so much to everybody that entered the competition. I'm sure there'll be more competitions coming up over the next few months at Gazovis, so keep watching this space to see the latest developments. But thanks very much to everybody that entered, and congratulations to Michael. Right, just about the ads, there's links to articles on most of the pages at gazovis.com. You can have a browse through the widgets. You'll be able to see if there's any articles that you're interested in. If there is, just click through. You'll be able to go off and read those articles. And because you're doing that, because you're clicking from Gazovis to wherever you're going off to, we get a revenue fee on what you're doing. So thanks so much for doing that. Generally have a play around with the ads. And just say there's the link here on the homepage now to Gav Shop. So if you've got any shopping to do at Amazon at any point through the year, you don't have to do it just at Christmas. Just go to Gav Shop. You have to click through the Amazon banners, go up to Amazon. You know the score with that. You just go to Amazon, do your shopping, and because you've gone from Gazovis to Amazon, we get a revenue fee on things that you're purchasing. So that's all year round now. It's always been in the background of the website actually, but a lot of people didn't realise it. So I've kept the link on the homepage to it now through the year. Of course, I'll publicise it more once we get through to Christmas anyway. Right, that's all the announcements done. Let's get on with the weather for the next 8 to 10 days. And here we go with 500 millibar height anomaly flow charts. We've got the E70UF over on the left, and the GFS is on the right. 500 millibars, 80,000 feet is an area in the atmosphere where high pressure, low pressure are being moved around by the jet stream, running above. Blue is extrapolating to low pressure, and orange and red extrapolating to high pressure. These are the mean flow charts for the next 8 to 10 days. So this takes us up towards the 26th of March, and you can see that the westerlies are returning from the tight lines here, coming across the Atlantic. Got a fairly strong jet stream running through. And they've also got low pressure sitting up to the north of the country with all these blue colours just here. So, yeah, got low pressure pushing back in off the Atlantic with an increase in the jet stream. It implies the westerlies are coming back. As you said, yeah, the GFS is even more progressive with this, actually. Really strong jet stream coming across the Atlantic as we get through to the final week of March, and all these blue colours up to the north indicating low pressure sitting to the north of the British Isles. So quite a strong jet stream, areas of low pressure developing around Greenland and Iceland. It's going to be turning more unsettled. They've both got a relatively strong area of high pressure around the Azores, as we've had all winter. It's been a very Azores high dominated winter. So we have got high pressure down to the south and the southwest. It will mean that England and Wales gets the driest weather, but I think with this, increasingly all parts will be turning more unsettled with time. If you have a look at the GFS temperature and precipitation ensembles, the red line is the 30-year temperature average. Well, we're cold and average at the moment. We have these easterly winds coming in. They've not been desperately cold, but they have brought colder weather. As we go through the week, high pressure is going to sort of be sticking around the country. So although the temperatures are lifting up a little bit in the upper air, down on the surface, well, by night it'll be quite chilly, but by day it should be fairly sunny, actually. And that's going to lift the temperatures up. The temperatures will respond to the sunshine at this time of year. The sun is almost back onto the equator now, so it's getting much stronger, and we should have some fairly pleasant temperatures, particularly for England and Wales, through the course of this coming week. When the sun comes out, there will be quite a bit of cloud scattered about. And as we go through the weekend, there's been this idea that it could turn colder over the weekend. We've still got some members of the ensemble going quite calm into the weekend, so I've got to watch out for that. And then overall, as we get through into next week, which is this part of the ensemble just here, the idea really is that we're hovering around average, but notice the precipitation spikes are coming back. We start off very dry through the first part of the ensemble, going from today to say the 23rd of March, lots of dry weather then. But over time, as we get from the 24th into the end of the month, notice that the precipitation spikes are coming back. So this tells us that it's turning increasingly unsettled through that final week of March. The temperature anomaly shows that it's going to be a little bit cooler than average. This takes into account the current cool weather, of course. We'll probably revert nearer normal over the next day or two. But just for now, from the 16th to the 24th of March, we're coming out a bit colder than average. And we're also coming out drier than average. It's going to be fairly dry through the course of the coming week. The change to more unsettled conditions, I think, is through into next week. So here's the generic charts. This is the GFS for Friday. High pressures out to the west of the country. And we bring down this north to northeasterly flow. Now, Friday is the eclipse, of course. We've got the partial solar eclipse going on. I know there's a lot of you very interested in this, so I'll be doing an update on the events page this evening. I did the first one last week, going to do another update this evening for the partial eclipse on Friday. I think we're going to be plagued with quite a lot of cloud running around this high pressure to the north and the east, so it may not be that good. The best view of it might be in the west, with the high pressure centre just to the west of the country, but in the north and the east may not be that good. But have a more in-depth look at it tonight on the events page. As we go into the weekend, the high pressure ridges in across the country. I think it'll be quite a chilly weekend, and there could be some quite hard overnight frost. As we go through into the start of next week, though, that high pressure increasingly starts to slip down to the southwest. We start to revert winds into the west, coming in off the Atlantic, and over time it just gets more unsettled. So we end up on day 10, 30th to 26th of March, in quite a strong northwesterly flow. Low pressure to the north of Scotland. That'll be bringing showers, longer spells of rain, and the isobars are going back to Greenland, so it'll be quite chilly as well. And that sort of continues in towards the end of the month with more areas of low pressure rocking in off the Atlantic. Here's the ECMWF, and we can see again we've got high pressure just out west of the country on Friday. Little trough there to the north of Scotland, so that means that for Scotland it could be cloudy and wet actually on Friday for eclipse viewing. I think generally going to bring a lot of cloud around the northern eastern side of that area of high pressure. Go through to the weekend, bring down a chilly northeasterly wind, so I think it will be quite a cold weekend. Expect some frost as this high pressure builds over the country over the weekend, really quite chilly indeed. And then as we go through into next week, it turns increasingly unsettled from the Atlantic. So here we are on day 10 in a strong northwesterly wind, very similar to the GFS, bringing showers, longer spells of rain, and quite cold air as well. If you follow the isobars back, the air's originating from Newfoundland and Greenland, where it's been on and off throughout the winter, really. So chilly and showery and quite windy to end March on that one. And the GM's quite fun this morning. We've got that high pressure out to the west of the country on Friday with that north to northeasterly wind. That goes on into weekend, so all models are in agreement. Going to be quite a chilly weekend with winds in from the northeast. As we get through to next week, though, when the other models are sort of pushing that high pressure down to the Azores and turning it more unsettled, what the GM does is takes the high pressure back up to the northwest. So here we are on Tuesday 24, taking the high pressure up to Iceland and Greenland, bring down a very cold northerly wind, and it's a proper wintry week of it next week on the GM. There we are on day 10 with the northerly winds in across the country. They will be bringing hard overnight frost and snow showers to the north and the east. As I explained in the videos time and again, the GM is always different. Actually, it's always a bit different compared to the other ones, and I wouldn't be running away with that idea what the GM shows. It's just a fun run. I thought I'd stick it in, but I'll go with the solution that we're seeing from the GFS and the ECMWF, which is quite a cold weekend with some hard overnight frost at least. When as we get through into next week, we may well find that the Atlantic winds begin to return. So after a dry start to next week, it may turn increasingly unsettled and probably quite cool as well, with the winds coming from the northwest. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. Remember to come back for the eclipse update on the events page tonight. Right, that's it. Thanks for watching.